stake the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. The principles are familiar. Marvin Hagler in the burgundy trunks, the southpaw, against Roberto Durán in the dark blue. These first moments, so important. Both fighters wanting to test the strength of the other.
Hagler, of course, familiar to most people, that left-handed style. Remember, he will switch to righty at various times throughout this fight if he thinks it'll be effective against Durán. There's the jab from Hagler, and that's a punch that he will need tonight if he's to win against Durán.
Durán working the body of Hagler, and he gets a warning from the referee to watch it or low. Hagler told me that if he finds out early that he seems to be stronger than Durán, he'll go right at him, take him out of there immediately.
And indeed, Durán trying to go to the body early, that is a tactic many people believed he would do.
Durán has lost 4 times. In all 4 defeats, his opponents have stayed outside his range of power. Here in the early moments, Hagler has done that. You don't expect that for the rest of the evening.
Obviously, both fighters, it's a chess match now. They want to feel each other out and see just what the other has to offer. And for Hagler, so far, he's found out one thing. He can land his jab a little bit against Durán, and that will be important to him if he can continue to do it.
We're halfway through the opening round. A bit of a right hand by Durán on the chin of Hagler was a glancing blow. Hagler has never been down as an amateur or professional. The last time Durán was down was 9 years ago. He was down twice in his career as a pro, both left hooks by Esteban de Jesus, oddly in the first rounds of those bouts, with Durán coming back and winning.
For those people who claim that Hagler would be awed by this event, this is the time when it would affect him. He would be tight in the first round and perhaps be hurt, as Durán hurt Leonard early in their fight.
That right hand of Durán was picked off by Hagler, but not that one. Durán gets in a right hand. Durán's best punch is the right hand, tries to throw the lead right. Watching Hagler in his workouts, he and Pat Petronelli worked on slipping that right hand and countering with both the left and the right. Hagler won't show his uppercut early in the fight. He wants to get Durán with that later on when they're at close quarter. Less than 30 seconds to go in a getting-to-know-you opening round.
You saw Durán slip the jab in the right and the left hand by Hagler. That's what he intends to do, he hopes, all night.
Hagler had his left blocked by Durán as he moved backward. Durán, an underrated defensive fighter. He was awesome in that regard against Davey Moore, continually slipping Moore's right hand. A quiet opening round. Everybody knows it. Round 2 scheduled for 15.
And Hagler said something very interesting. He said, yeah, I know, he's trying to get that thumb in there. Of course, Durán gave a thumb to Davey Moore early in their fight, whether intentional or not. It blinded Moore's vision and helped him win that fight, and the Hagler camp very concerned about that tonight.
A slow boil here. We haven't had any eruptions as yet. Durán with a short left hand. Hagler with a left hand of his own to the side of Durán's face. Hagler there showing the stiff jab and then the left cross to the head of Durán.
I think the key question right now in everyone's mind is, can Durán hurt Hagler? We haven't seen any evidence yet. He hasn't hit him with anything, and that's what Hagler's really waiting for. He wants to see.
The second warning from the referee, Stanley Cristodulo, to Durán about a low blow. And we're in the second round.
Early on, Durán is getting under the jab and the straight left of Hagler, and so it'll be incumbent upon Hagler, as he blocks that right, to use the uppercut effectively on the inside, as he's doing right there.
Hagler working with the free left hand there as Durán was holding on. Durán with a short right.
So far in this fight, it's Hagler who's working harder on the inside. Many people thought it would be Durán who would be ripping shots to the body and the head.
Just past the halfway mark of round 2. Hagler with a left hand to the head of Durán. That straightened him up. That right hand of Durán was blocked by Hagler. And we're starting to get the first indications of strength here. As it looks like Hagler's having no problem moving Durán. Hagler comes from downstairs with an uppercut. Less than a minute to go. Hagler with the left hand on the head of Durán, and Durán gives him a sneer. The familiar sneer of Durán is back. And now we're starting to percolate as the champion, Hagler, is starting to unwind. Durán with the right hand on the head of Hagler.
Durán just waiting to drop the right hand in. He feels that's his ticket to win this fight. So far, most have been blocked by Hagler, but one or two have gotten in. That one was blocked.
The crowd erupts every time Durán throws something, and in the last few seconds he had a right hand block that he missed with a right, but yet there were cheers from the crowd. Hagler seems intent on getting off first. That right hand by Durán was short on the chest of Hagler.
When Hagler is fighting as a lefty, his punches are a little wider. Some people think that may be a problem for him, and Durán may be able to get him. As we head into round three, he's landing the jab, but I don't think quite as often as he wants to, Sal. But will Durán be able to avoid it as we go on in this fight?
That right hand by Durán picked off by Hagler again. And through 2 rounds, Hagler staying outside of Durán's power. Step back.
We thought we might see a little more lateral movement from Hagler to confuse Durán. That was something Moore and Cuevas did not do in their fights, but he really has been going right at Durán.
Durán short again. A left to the stomach by Durán as Hagler missed and was out of position. So the legend still has the cute moves, knows when to take advantage.
And as we said at the top, if there's a way that Durán would win this fight, I think it would be that way. He just slipped a straight left by Hagler. It's his defensive skills that I think will make this fight for him. Now on the inside, Hagler doing most of the punching.
Durán insists that he's in tip-top shape. He trained for most of the summer. Hagler did the same. Hagler just brought a right uppercut onto the face of Durán. We're halfway through round number 3.
And this fight has certainly turned into a chess match. If people thought it would be a brawl, so far it is not that. And maybe it was never meant to be because we have 2 master boxers in there.
Hagler showing tremendous respect for Durán, staying outside of his power. He just switched to the orthodox style and banged Durán with a lead right hand. Hagler stays in the orthodox stance and switches lefty. Less than a minute to go in round 3. Durán with a left to the head. Hagler with a right to the head of Durán. Durán with a short right hand on the face of Hagler. Another right hand by Durán to the head of Hagler. Hagler with a big left hand that rocked Durán. Durán with a right uppercut. And now Durán has gotten Hagler into a major exchange here in round 3. And this is where Roberto wants him at close range, especially on the ropes. You'll notice that Hagler just spun away from the ropes. He doesn't want to be there.
And now Durán coming forward. Apparently he feels after that exchange that he can fight inside with Hagler. And they were both throwing flurries in that round.
Durán moments ago ducked underneath an express train of a left hand by Hagler. Hagler caught nothing but air. Durán has closed the distance to Hagler. They're closer than ever before.
And they are both smiling at each other at alternate times during these rounds. There's the jab in the left hand by Hagler. That's what he wants to get in, but Durán has done a fairly good job of slipping that jab. Now here's the dancing and the lateral movement by Hagler. Perhaps we'll see more of it as the fight progresses.
There's no question that Hagler respects the strength of Durán at this point. And Durán with his third warning about a low blow. Of course, many feel it's the advantage of Hagler to make Durán work and make this fight go a long distance.
And now Hagler's starting to throw some feints at Durán and trying to show him a little movement. And so far, Durán, while Hagler hasn't landed much, Duran's going for all those feints.
Right hand by Durán. Hagler with a left to the body. That backed up Durán for an instant. A big swat of a left hand by Hagler, the kind of jab that decked Caveman Lee in the first round.
And indeed, now Hagler is starting to get his jab on track, and I guess that's the most important weapon for him in this fight. If he can land it, he'll be very effective.
We're halfway through the fourth. Durán with the right hand, and Hagler didn't even move. A right hand by Durán, right on the butt. That caught Hagler around the chin. Less than a minute to go in round 4.
Durán has shown us one thing. The right hand can get home to Hagler. Hasn't done that much in this fight, but he has landed it several times. That's good news for him and his fans.
A right to the body by Durán, but he paid the price. Hagler countered with a left hook to the head.
Hagler starting to throw some combinations. That's been absent so far from both fighters in the first 3.5 rounds.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the round. No question, Hagler reverted back to the boxing style here in round 4 after getting into a couple of toe-to-toe exchanges with Durán in round 3.
And I think by and large he was more effective because of it.
And here comes the chant of Durán's name.
Could do himself some good in this fight.
Round 5, scheduled for 15. Hagler with a bit of a left hand, Durán with a right hand in response. Not too much impact there.
I mentioned at the outset that Hagler likes to switch to the righty style. So far he has not done that in this fight, apparently feeling that he can be more effective as a southpaw against Durán. And there he does it. As soon as I said he hadn't done it, he switches to the righty stance.
Left hook to the head from the righty stance by Marvin Hagler.
Well, in the brief time he's changed righty, he's fought well against Durán.
In the workouts every day, Hagler fought several rounds right-handed to be sharp, to be able to show Durán that he can go both ways. And Hagler with a right hook from the lefty stance rattled Roberto Durán.
And he landed a good uppercut just before that. So he's starting to get the hand speed unlimbered, and Hagler looks a little looser here in round 5. And after round 3, you'll note Goody Petronelli said you look tight out there.
Durán switched again to the orthodox style, tried a left hook, but he missed. We're halfway through round 5. That right hand by Durán was blocked by Hagler. We point that out because you should not be misled by the cheers of the crowd.
Good
Hagler
jab.
with a right hand, Durán with a right hand. Hagler comes back with a straight left to the head. Durán with a whack of a right hand on the side of Hagler's head. Less than a minute to go in the round. Durán gets away with a low blow out of the view of the referee.
Neither fighter has done much body work in the last several rounds. That's something they're both noted for. And neither fighter working that effectively on the inside.
They trade body shots. Less than 30 seconds to go in the round. Double jab there by Hagler. He's tied up by Durán, and they drift toward the ropes. Christodoulou letting them battle their way out of that clinch.
Durán is finding Hagler a relatively elusive target also, not like Davey Moore or Pepino Cuevas when he fashioned those two big comeback wins. Hagler a much better defensive fighter than those two men.
Right hand by Durán, and that was right on the chin of Hagler, but he's not hurt. And there's the bell marking the end of the 5th round. Took out Hearns in the 14th round.
In the last round,
round 6.
In the last round, Hagler switched to righty, and I thought Sal was very effective, but he's not gone back to that style yet. When he switched to righty, he landed a very good straight right hand. This is a tactical fight, and the experts were divided on who they thought would win if it became this kind of fight. Many people felt Durán could not fight him from the outside, but Roberto's not doing that badly from the outside against Hagler.
A left hand by Hagler. Durán shakes his head, no, I'm not hurt. The couple of jabs there by Hagler had put Durán off balance and wide open for the shot. Durán with a right hand after he was hit by a right by Hagler. So we're getting some toe-to-toe stuff here.
I think when Hagler switches to righty, he is much more effective against Durán, and there he does it now. He can land often in the righty stance. There's a good jab by Hagler. A good right by Hagler. This is the way he needs to be in this fight.
A hard jab by Hagler from the orthodox stance. Hagler with a left hook to the head. Hagler switches to lefty, goes to righty, and they're in the center of the ring now. Durán not been able to make full connections as much as Hagler.
And I think we're seeing the key to this fight. If Marvin Hagler could sustain his attack as a righty, I think he'd be very effective. Good uppercut by Hagler.
We're halfway through the 6th round. Durán with a right and left. Hagler here applying some pressure. He's gone into another gear.
And it's Hagler on the inside, not Durán, who's dominating the action as many people thought.
Hagler now digging in now, throwing shots, and he is catching Durán. Durán still coming forward. Big right hand by Hagler from the righty stance. That was his best punch. Less than a minute to go now, and Durán is starting to feel some of that power from Hagler.
And again, Marvin goes back to lefty. I don't know why he's so effective as a right-hander against Durán.
There's no question in this round, Hagler made up his mind to start to drill Durán, and he has approached Durán from a different philosophy, and that is he has turned into slugger here. He was boxing Durán earlier in the fight. Durán is flat-footed, breathing hard. Less than 30 seconds to go in the 6th, and Hagler is digging in and throwing shots from his heels.
And the strength of Hagler taking over here now. The first real middleweight that Durán has faced, and he's finding out how powerful Hagler is.
Hagler with the left hand, another left hand. In between, Durán missed with an uppercut. A strong 6th round for Marvin Hagler. Hagler comes out righty.
Sal, I wonder if he deliberately fought the first few rounds lefty to lull Durán into a false sense of security, knowing that he could win with the right-handed stance.
Although he's switched now again back to the southpaw stance. Hagler giving Roberto a different look. He switches again.
Durán's left jab landing even better at the righty than his right jab was landing when he was southpaw.
Right hand lead by Hagler from the orthodox stance. No question, Hagler not only has gone into a different gear, he has stepped up the pace. And he just poked his glove at Durán as if to say, you're trying to thumb me. Durán giving him his now famous sneer. And Durán that time slipped the right hand.
A strange show of bravado by Durán after his worst round in the fight in round 6. Maybe he knows something.
Hagler with a left hook to the head. Both fighters smiling at each other. Lots of gamesmanship here as the crowd is chanting Durán's name. We're halfway through the 7th.
One of the misnomers about this fight was that Durán would not fight inside, that he would simply hold. He has been the one who's been dominant when they are inside. Good lead right by Hagler.
And you can hear that across the ring. Hagler pushing Durán to a fast pace here. He wants Durán to work hard. Hagler out-punching Durán here in the 7th as he did in the 6th. And Durán seems undismayed. He mocks Hagler, smiles at him. Hagler's expression is unchanged since he entered the ring. It's a menacing look.
Against Vito Antuofermo in their first fight, Hagler dominated all the early rounds, as he may be doing here against Durán. Ran out of gas, got frustrated when Antuofermo wouldn't go down. Will that happen in this fight if Durán can take it the full 15?
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 7th.
And there, look on the inside. It's Hagler really throwing the shots, not Durán.
It is Hagler who's got Durán against the ropes. Durán wanted this, but he wanted the other way. He wanted to press the attack against Hagler. Has not been able to do that. They're at close range, and Hagler rumbling pretty well. A right hand by Durán at the bell. Neither man has been cut or down.
Even though Marvin Hagler hasn't boxed all through this fight, he has used his pretty good foot speed and his good ring generalship to get away from Durán when there was danger. And that's something, as I said, Davey Moore and Pepino Cuevas just didn't have the tools to do against Durán. Sal, I think now Hagler would like for Durán to lunge in with the right hand. Certainly Durán must sense he's falling behind. Hagler would like to catch him with counter shots as Durán lunges in with the right.
We are approaching the halfway mark of the fight. Al, I want your impressions about how one man has been able to prevail his will over the other, or has that occurred?
Well, I think Hagler has done so more out of technical abilities than anything else. He is simply a better boxer than Durán has faced in recent times.
And Durán has not seen this kind of pressure since he fought Ray Leonard.
You see the right hand blocked by Hagler. Hagler has fought a pretty good defensive fight. Durán himself has avoided being hit really flush by Hagler, and now Hagler turns to righty, and watch how effective he is when he turns to this stance.
He made a pivot move and brought that left hook to the head. He just did it twice. Hagler's corner knows that Marvin is especially effective in the orthodox stance, and they welcome him switching to the righty style.
And Marvin wants to fight on the inside with Durán. Unlike what people thought, he's ripping shots to the body and the head.
Less than a minute to go in round 8. After a spirited 6th and 7th rounds, it's quiet here in the 8th.
And if there's an edge in body work, it certainly would go to Hagler, and that is a factor as we go on in this fight. Will that take something out of Durán? Hagler blocks those punches.
They're starting to bang their heads here in round 8. There's always the problem of the butt.
And of course, Hagler himself has occasionally been guilty, as he was in his second fight with Anafermo, of using his head as a weapon.
The first half of this round was quiet. It's been stepped up because of Hagler's ability to punch in bunches. Hard jab there by Hagler. Yet another one. A countering right hand. Countering right hand. Durán comes out flat-footed for round number 9. A wide stance. It looks like Durán here wants to really rumble. He wants to get Hagler at close quarters.
And Hagler again as a righty. You heard Goody Petronelli say, "I like you as a righty. Change up and use that often."
Hagler looks like he's ready to accommodate Mr. Durán if he wants to go toe-to-toe here at close quarters. Durán has closed the distance between himself and Hagler.
We've talked about Durán's defense, and it's excellent, but Marvin Hagler in this fight has shown that he also is a good defensive fighter, picking off punches and slipping others. Although occasionally Durán does get in with that straight right hand. The jab of Durán has been almost non-existent in this fight.
Another right hand blocked by Hagler. Hagler with a 3-punch combination on the head of Durán.
Hagler slipping the jabs and pounding the body of Roberto Durán.
Then he came upstairs with some uppercuts, and that brought an ooh and an ah from the crowd. Right hook by Hagler.
This fight is very reminiscent of the fight that Hagler fought here in Las Vegas against Vito Antuofermo when he tried to lift the title. He beat Antuofermo as he's beating Durán right now, but around this time in the fight is when it shifted and Vito started putting pressure on. Let's see if history repeats itself. Durán has certainly not come close to going down in this fight.
Hagler said he learned a great lesson from that controversial draw. He knew he ran out of gas down the final 5 rounds. He said he learned how to train for 15 rounds. He vowed it would never happen again.
And so far, no indication that Hagler is slowing the tempo. Good counter hook by Durán. It has no impact on Hagler.
Hagler threw a lead left hand, and Durán came with that countering hook. Less than a minute to go in the round.
Hagler continues also to work the body very effectively.
Hammering right hand by Durán on the head of Hagler. Durán with that sinister look. Both fighters looking at each other over. Durán with a right hand to the head of Hagler. Final seconds, round 9.
This fight has ebbed and flowed on a number of different occasions. Right now, again, it's a chess match as they look for an opening. Good jab, double jab by Hagler, and he's gotten that punch on track since the second round.
Early in the round, the Hagler with an eruption, a 3-punch combination, then later some body work. That was the the major noise in an...
And again, Hagler starts in the right-handed stance. He has switched up often in this fight. I think it has confused Durán, and as a righty, I still maintain Hagler has done his best work. Look at on the inside. This is where Durán was supposed to win, but instead it's Hagler. And there was an elbow from Hagler to show you that he is not above questionable tactics.
The fourth admonishment to Durán by the referee for a low blow.
And for all the hassles over the referee, Stanley Christodoulou has played a minor role in this fight.
They're on the inside here in round 10. Imagine walking down that lonely, dark street, fighting on the inside against either of these men.
Both men are masters on the inside, and at this point anyway, it looks like the idea that Hagler is a true middleweight and Durán has come up too many weight divisions would appear to be the case on the inside. Hagler appears strong there.
They just banged heads. Hagler pressing the attack here.
Right now, Sal, he is simply bullying Durán, and the body work very effective. Alexis Arguello and Leonard apparently were right. Durán could not fight on the inside.
We're halfway through the 10th. Durán has slowed down somewhat. Chopping right hand by Durán, another one, and Hagler drills him with a right as Durán moved Hagler away from the ropes. Another low blow by Roberto Durán. As I count him, that's number 5.
Still no points being taken away, however, by Christodoulou.
We're in the final 60 seconds of the 10th round.
It has actually been a relatively clean fight, considering what many boxing observers were expecting. I think Durán is slowing down discernibly here in round 10.
And a right hand by Durán. Just when he was backing up, Hagler walked right into it. Less than 30 seconds to go in the 10th. Right hand high in the head of Hagler. Durán with another right hand. For all of the attack by Hagler, Durán is very much in this fight.
Well, he's still upright anyway, and that gives him a chance.
A hard left hand by Hagler. Durán came back with his own right. And it appears right now that Durán cannot hurt Hagler. Hagler with a big left hand at the bell. And Durán...
Into its final stages, you wonder if the extra weight will have any impact on him in terms of fatigue.
This is the farthest that Hagler has been pushed in his 4-year reign of terror as the undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
He has gone 12 rounds. He did that against Mike Colbert some years ago before he was champion. But as a champion, you're right. This is as far as it's gone, so he's headed soon into no man's land.
Mustafa Hamsho lost every round, but he did go 11 before he was stopped by Hagler. Hamsho was so beaten up he required 55 stitches on his face.
Hagler now dances, wants Durán to come to him, an interesting tactic, and the fans don't like it. But why not? Hagler may feel he's ahead, and this is a 20-foot ring, and I believe that he wants Durán to lunge in so he can catch him with a counter shot.
There was lots of talk about the gloves. They're 10-ounce gloves. They're the Reyes gloves from Mexico. They have the seam down the side. There was lots of yakety-yak about perhaps that's the kind of glove that opens up cuts, but neither man has been marked. Neither man has been down.
Some people may question this strategy. They might say, isn't it better for Hagler to put the pressure on Durán? Get him tired, working these last few rounds. But Hagler obviously has it in his mind to box in this 11th round.
Halfway through the 11th, Roberto Durán almost stationary in the center of the ring, following Hagler around. Hagler's best rounds were the 6th and 7th.
Hagler's preoccupation with the judging would dictate that he might not fight this way in the later rounds, but he is doing it, risking what he feels might be bias on the part of the judges against him. Not many punches from Marvin Hagler in this round, or Durán for that matter.
Less than a minute to go in a quiet 11th round.
Is Hagler getting tired? Is he dancing because he doesn't quite have it in him for an all-out attack? Well, we don't know, but we may get the answer in the next few rounds.
Referee once again lets them battle their way out of the clinch with less than 30 seconds to go in the 11th.
And here's where a rally by either fighter might steal this round.
Hey, step back. Hey, step back. Okay, step back.
Certainly the quietest round of the fight.
After going toe-to-toe in the middle round.
Hagler comes out right-handed and he comes out banging. They told him too much movement in the last round, and he takes care of it by going right to Durán.
As champion, Hagler hasn't been this far before. He has rejected all 7 of his challengers in less than 11 rounds.
And the last time Durán went this far was against Benitez about 2 years ago, and he did not look good in the final rounds against Wilfred. He was tired and catching a lot of counterpunches.
Right hand by Durán on Hagler's head. But you know, Al, in my mind's eye, as I go back over the previous 11 rounds, Hagler has been difficult for Durán to hit. He's been blocking a lot of punches.
He has shown good defense in this fight. Better, I think, than Durán expected. Durán breathing very heavily, and I think Marvin now trying to go to the body to exploit that. Hagler took a breather in the last round, but not in round 12.
Hagler is back on the inside, takes a right hand from Durán, does some work with the uppercuts, and this is a whole different kind of style as contrasted against the previous round, the 11th. Left hook by Durán to the head of Hagler.
Now Durán is punching more on the inside, working the body a little bit. It may be too late, but he has certainly picked up the pace on the inside, what we expected early from him.
Durán with a right uppercut. There's swelling underneath the eye, the left eye of Hagler. They go toe-to-toe here in the 12th. Durán mocking Hagler. Dropped his hands to his side. Hagler's protecting his left eye.
And Marvin looks a little bit tired. This is starting to have some of the earmarks of the first Anna Fermo fight. Marvin tiring a little bit and perhaps letting Durán back in this fight. And of course that swelling under the left eye a factor now.
Durán with the lead right, he followed up with another right hand. And Hagler's got a problem with swelling underneath his left eye. This is reminiscent at this point of the Davey Moore fight, when Moore went inside on Durán and Durán connected with right hands. This is Durán's best round.
Good
Hagler with
uppercut.
the left hand, an uppercut. points to his chin as if to say, come on, hit me. Hagler with the left hand, Roberto with the right. And this is what it's all about. Two champions going toe-to-toe.
Able to land a right when Hagler is a righty. I'm shocked to see him continue with the left-hand stance.
We're into the 13th, and Durán's name is being chanted from here to Panama City. Hagler still has vision. It's a swelling underneath his left eye. Durán looking to unload the right hand. Hagler punishes him with a couple of hard jabs.
And that doubling up with the jab is exactly what Goody Petronelli told him to do. They don't want him looking for one knockout punch.
Hagler with a crunching left hand to the head of Durán.
Roberto Durán has shown us he can take the punch of a full-fledged middleweight because there are not many more full-fledged than Hagler, and he's hit him with some good shots in this fight.
Whether Durán is behind in this fight, or ultimately if he's the loser, he continues to be a formidable fighter. As a lightweight, 7 years the champion. As a welterweight champion. As the junior middleweight champion. And here in his first middleweight fight, he has really rumbled with the best there's been since Carlos Monzon. Right hand by Durán. Hagler was moved by that shot.
You know, Roberto Durán is huffing and puffing. I really think he's fatigued, but Sal, he is fighting this fight now on intestinal fortitude. And of course, the long training that he put in for this fight.
We're halfway through the 13th round. A left hand by Hagler, a right by Durán. Yes, this is Hagler's toughest opponent, his toughest challenge in his 4-year reign as middleweight champion. And Durán has fooled the experts again.
In this round, Hagler, I think, has rediscovered the right jab. It's been very effective. Durán not slipping it as well as he did in some previous rounds.
In the final minute of round 13. Right hand by Durán. Hagler came with a right hook.
And that was pretty much a standoff. Both punches landed cleanly and both did some damage. And both fighters have ignored the body. They are headhunting now.
Durán with two right hands. Suddenly Hagler is on the take from that shot. Durán paws at him in disdain. Durán with a chopping right hand. Something's happened here in the last 2 rounds. Durán has shown that he is powerful and has been able to take the best from Marvin Hagler. And now it's showtime for Hands of Stone as he rattles Durán. Hagler with a right hand. The sneer is back, and at the bell. Shooting for that left eye of Marvin Hagler as swelling underneath on the cheekbone. We're into the 14th. Hagler comes out winging.
And he came out right-handed and was effective. Again, I'm puzzled by the fact that he won't fight right-handed more often. Look at him go to the body of Durán. Good uppercuts by Hagler.
In the first 20 seconds of this round, Hagler has been a tremendous force here. Durán backing up, looking to get some punching room. Right hand by Hagler. Durán looking at awesome force here in the 14th round, but he still sneers at Hagler. The fight of the year? Yes, I think so.
It certainly has been everything it was billed to be. And I said the onus was on Durán at the beginning to make this fight. He has shown us. He has come back from an early deficit and fought well toward the end of this fight. But I think Hagler's having a very good round 14 here. But will Durán come on in the second half of the round as he did in 13?
Hagler with a right hand that caught Durán. Durán still sneering. He's joking with Hagler, and we're deep into this fight. We're in the 14th. And we're halfway through the round.
And this is what Marvin Hagler did not want, a relatively close fight going into the final rounds. He was very, very concerned about this. Now Durán is giving some lateral movement to Hagler, and he's taunting him.
Durán stuck his mouthpiece out at Hagler, taunting him, trying to intimidate him.
He may be sticking his mouthpiece out, but Hagler, I think, has done most of the scoring here in round 14.
We're in the final minute of the next to last round.
Hagler digging to the body again. Again, he works well inside.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 14th, a round in which Hagler's done a lot of punching. He's come back strongly. I see blood. I think that the Hagler's got a cut. Yes, it's around his left eye. Hagler is cut.
But here in round 14, despite the sneering, it's been Hagler on the inside dominating the action, as you see him doing right there.
Hagler with a strong right hook to the head. Hagler knows he's cut. He's had an exceptional round, but they're going to have to work on that eye during the 1-minute break before the final round. Durán points towards his chest. He says, come to me, I want you. And I'm sure the Marvelous One will accommodate him.
And the strange thing about this fight is, on the outside, Durán has done relatively well. On the inside, I think it's been Hagler who has been dominant. Some people thought it was the other way around. Look at Hagler ripping shots from the inside. He's so effective. They're working the body and the head.
Hagler goes right to it here in the final round. He's staying close to Durán.
And I think that's the best place for him to be. Take away the power of Durán and work him on the inside.
Big left hand by Hagler on the chin of Durán, but Durán is okay, so okay, he sneered again at Hagler. Hagler appears he doesn't want to take any chances. He continues to punch a lot.
And this fight has shown us Hagler, the hard worker in boxing, and Durán, he's the showman. So far, the hard worker in this round is getting the job done.
The big news is that Durán was able to score heavily with the right hand tonight against Hagler. So much so that he caused a swelling on the left cheekbone.
Many people did not think he could get those right hands home. He's gotten enough home, as you said, to cause the swelling, but is it enough to win? Here on the inside, Hagler still working very, very effectively.
We just passed the halfway mark of the final round.
Hagler is throwing 5 and 6 punches to every one in this round for Durán.
And that cut has not reopened on the left eyebrow of Hagler. Durán now sensing that we only have a few ticks left on the clock, trying to get close enough, trying to get some punching room, but it's all Hagler down the stretch. Hagler with a big right hook and a left cross. Hagler takes a right hand from Durán. Hagler not taking any chances here, and he wallops Durán with the left hand. Durán with his back to the rope takes a right hook. Hagler finishing with a drum roll here.
If he feels there's a doubt about this decision, he certainly must be cementing it here in this 15th round. Ripping body and head shots to the head of Roberto Durán.
20-odd seconds to go in the fight. Left hand by Hagler, and Roberto Durán drilled Hagler with his own right. 15 seconds to go. Two warriors, two champions, going the full 15 rounds. Hands of Stone turned out to be a formidable opponent, and he rocks Hagler with the right hand, Hagler with the left, as we head for the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Guy Jutra scores 144-142. Judge Yasaka Yoshida scores 146-145. Judge Obi Oberson scores 144-143 for the winner by unanimous decision, and still the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.